Welcome back to another Askari Cast. My name is Rod Van Blake, author of Ancient Illumination series as well as Bonnie Chronicles, and I am joined once again by Jocelyn Short.
Hi.
She is a graphic artist and creator, and the creator of a series called Bearers. So will be a link to her website in the description of this episode if you are interested in her creative endeavors as well as mine. And we're also joined by JP Jackson.
Hey, everybody.
He is another graphic illustrator and artist, creator of Eve of Insurrection, Eve of Reclamation, the Grown in the Garden educational STEM series, comic series, as well as the illustrator for the Ancient Illumination graphic novels and Yombani Chronicles comic books. Today we are back at it to talk some more Monarch Legacy of Monsters, and we're going to go through episodes 3 and 4. I believe we get a new episode coming up this Friday, so we've been taking 2 episodes at a time, which is convenient because I'm getting ready to head to C2E2 in Chicago, so we're going to need. We've gone for like 10 days, so when we come back, we will discuss episodes 5 and 6. So spoilers, if you have not watched episodes 3, Secrets, and 4, Trespass, I believe is the title of those 2 episodes. We are back with the crew. Kind of, because they got split up at the end of episode 2. Kate decided she wanted to go home and leave. We start out this episode with Keiko and Shaw, and they see the Titan. The village kind of drugged them up and tried to set them up for failure. We get to see the scarab things crawl off. Billy, his stupid self, went off chasing some migration patterns. So it leaves them two alone in this little fishing village, which are crazy because they apparently worship Titan X as some sort of god, and in return they think they're getting some fish bounty or something. I'm not sure if that's what happens, but that's what they're saying. But they want to keep their little town and their relationship with this monster a secret, and so they are vehemently against any outsiders being there. They get chased at the end. After the encounter, they're trying to get the camera from them. I mentioned before, Kate runs home back to San Francisco, feeling more of that survivor's guilt, and now added on top of her survivor's guilt, she believes she has unleashed Titan X on the world, and so we're waiting for another G Day to happen, or whatever they're going to finally name this thing besides Titan X may happen. Monarch is stuck dead in the water. Keiko shows Hiroshi. Oh no, Keiko and Shaw and Hiroshi devise a plan to lure Titan X as Apex basically takes over. How'd y'all feel about this part of the episode? Jango Fett popping up out of the blue from from Apex to take over a Monarch ship, and they just basically punked him.
So I felt like, I don't know, I feel like it was very over the top. It made Tim, right?
Tim, yeah.
It made Tim for sure look like a punk. It was kind of funny. Like it was entertaining, but like still like a little over the top and ridiculous. Like so they just showed up. They literally start putting computers down, overwriting all of y'all's stuff. Like it didn't make any sense. It was as if it looked like they hacked into their system and just replaced all their icons. It was kind of dumb. Yeah. That element was kind of goofy, but I saw what they were doing. I feel like being that like we got Godzilla King of Monsters and like the King Kong series where they introduce Apex more, I feel like they're really trying to shoehorn Apex into it. It makes sense. Like we need these two different corporate entities, government agency versus corporation. I like the kind of dichotomy they have between the two. Mm-hmm. Like we need those elements, but it's very, I don't know, it feels very goofy. Very over the top in some ways. Kate's getting on my nerves.
Of course.
Like she's just constantly annoying. So I'm just like, she want to go back. Okay, all right. You don't want to. You can go back home and grieve. I don't know. It's frustrating because like this show, as we get deeper into the episode, like this show is doing its best to like make us care about these characters and like the tragic backstory, which we see in other Godzilla movies. but I just feel like his execution isn't that great
Yeah.
when it comes to that element. Um, but that part's been annoying. The intro scene where Shaw and
Keiko.
Keiko are trying to flee the village was suspenseful and interesting. I was like, you gonna fight? How y'all gonna get out of this? My man's gonna pull out a knife. I'm like,
He
that's
did
going
so.
into somebody. Who's it going into? What's gonna happen? So it was funny to see. Like, it felt like Barry just like hitting certain plot points and beats. So I was like, they're gonna make it out of this.
Yeah.
Um, you know, as the episode progresses, I'm gonna hold off my comment. Um, as the episode progresses, we find out some things, but
Of
that part
course.
was not surprising, but was interesting. But
Jocelyn.
yeah.
Um, I agree with you that Kate is annoying. I understand that she's going through a lot. She has a lot of feelings about all the things that she feels she's responsible for that she's not sorting through properly. Which, to some extent I'm like that it is a lot. How do you truly parse out these feelings? You know, um, I feel like her being annoying makes sense for all that she's going through. So, whatever.
I kind of feel like they purposely
Maybe
write Kate and Kentaro to be annoying in different ways, like on purpose.
Yes, he's annoying me also. I'm
that's
fed up.
fair.
I'm fed up with him. Also, I'm, I'm over him.
Hiroshi's getting on my nerves too. All the human characters are annoying. That's what this show's about, and maybe that's my issue is that I want more monsters. I want more kaiju action. I want y'all to die.
What I'm getting
I think
is
we're
the
getting there.
strength.
I think
Well, I know.
Would you say, Jocelyn?
I said I think we're getting there. It's like
Yeah.
slowly
So,
ramping up. You
yes,
know.
And
slow.
that's the difference between this and the movies. I remember, what was it, Godzilla King of Monsters? Like the most
Uh-huh.
annoying thing is like people, they kept going back to the people, where this is a TV show which focuses mainly on the people.
Yeah.
Season one, I thought this was done very well because they tied everything in well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now that we're spending more and more time with the human characters, yeah, the deficiencies crop up. This shows me like strength of DNA to me, because we've seen now that Kate didn't fall too far from the tree, as she was cheating just like her daddy was with two families. And then we
Hold
find
on.
out they kept hinting at the whole
The love
kind of
triangle.
like chemistry thing between Keiko and Shaw, despite the fact that he was technically like the third wheel between her and Billy with their marriage and relationship. But we knew there was something going on. They kept hinting at it in these
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
conversations. To have that
Yeah.
kind of confirmed in these two episodes is like, okay, well, Hiroshi kind of comes by it honestly too from his mama. I'm just waiting for the other
I
shoe to
agree.
drop with Kentaro.
I agree. Now, I want to chime in. This is what I want to talk about. So I wanted to quote Kendrick Lamar on this one. Walk him down, whole time. I know he got some hoe in him. That's literally what I thought. I was like, Hiroshi, just like mom. Like this is like you said, this is the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I was like, dang, y'all struggling with some generational curses here.
Yeah,
Something I
It's
think is
rough. That part's the
yeah.
most interesting part about. That's the most interesting part about this character. These characters actually to see their kind of generational trauma play out is the best part when I look at it. But it's still something about the execution of it that's not really hitting or landing.
okay,
But
Something
this family trauma beef is interesting. That part's interesting.
yeah.
that's a,
Something I thought was interesting about this generational pattern
Mm-hmm.
um it is like it seems to be a theme that is mirrored almost with the monsters of being of two worlds. I
okay,
feel like, or that's how I'm observing it from like a kind of zoomed out view.
yeah,
Like, you know, um, you have the two different realms, that the monsters exist in, and then that the humans exist in. and they're going back and forth. They're going back and forth between the two realms and in time, and
Yeah.
through time and space.
Mhm.
And I think that is interesting that it's mirrored in that family dynamic also.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Not as jarring this time around with the first two episodes as in the second two. With they're at least labeling the time jumps. I think better
Yeah.
Yes.
in these two
Yes.
Yeah.
because we go back again. Of course, Apex to me is a step ahead of Shaw and crew. They don't even know it. Tim doesn't know it. Like they didn't just pop up. Like the boss called Apex in to take over after they lost Titan X, and then we flip briefly back to Shaw and Keiko, and they find some weird cabin out in the wilderness. And I thought, it's too good of a shelter for this to be abandoned, in my opinion. Especially in the circumstances they're in this like out in the boonies fishing village in South America somewhere, and you just happen to find this perfect little cottage with all the equipment to make a fire, cook, give you good shelter. I'm thinking somebody's going to come back to they spot because this is too. It's not an abandoned area, and they briefly go there. Um, Tim recruits May to be a mole for Monarch within Apex, and like they didn't see that was too predictable that they saw that coming, given how far ahead that Apex was between them and Monarch. But I
Mhm.
knew that was going to happen. They cut back to Kate back in Frisco, going through the motions. She knows the new stepdad tries to tell her this is the new normal, but she knows for a fact there is no new normal. Um, I like the search party goes to Shibuya in Tokyo to find Hiroshi's lab, and she starts asking questions after looking at the two sets of family photos with Hiroshi. And I thought it was ironic that she was asking the dude she cheated on Billy with about the potential promiscuity of her son and having two families. Uh, and I
She said,
said, yeah,
"Oh, you
the
got
double
married
life is you.
twice."
What'd you say?
She said, "Oh, you got married twice."
Yeah, he's like, no.
I asked
He's
her
like,
like, "Oh, what talking about?"
I like Shaw be like, that's not my story to tell. Like he's like, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. You can ask him.
But you was deep in it though, so I don't.
Yeah, yeah, deep in it. And but that was the other thing that kind of pissed me off about Keiko because she keeps pressing the issue with Shaw. Like he obviously doesn't want to talk about this stuff. Y'all alone in this cabinet, and you keep bringing it up. Like I thought we moved on from that. Like, well, we can't move on if you keep bringing this stuff up. Like, leave it alone. Uh,
Well, clearly she don't want to move on. She won't.
yeah,
She
she
won't.
don't, and yeah, so she kept pressing the issue. We see the little flashbacks between them again. May obviously gets in at Apex, and then we see Kate going wild. She goes out in the town and meets some friends. Then didn't she blow off the first set of friends from school or from, and then leave to go someplace else? Like
I just remember
she pulls up in an Uber, and then she gets a text from her friends that she's supposed to meet at some bar, and like
homegirl
we've
with the
already
blonde
got
hair.
skinny girl popcorn and something something, and then she hops back in the Uber like, nah, I want to go someplace else, and she's wilding out at the club somewhere else, and bumps into someone else she knew apparently.
Was she an ex? Did we see her in the first season?
I don't think the blonde. I don't think so.
Yeah, she
I don't
seemed
think
like they seemed like
they
they
seem
knew each
familiar with each
other.
other. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, was she in the last season? I was trying to remember that.
Yeah. I don't recall. I'd have to go back and look. I don't recall seeing her before. Maybe she changed her hair. Maybe her hair color is different now. I don't know. Shaw splits the team that they're searching in Tokyo so that Keiko can be alone with Hiroshi and she can press him about the families. She ultimately finds out that Billy left here because I like this part because he doesn't clarify yet when, but she like doesn't believe it. Billy wouldn't do that. He wouldn't leave you. And he was like, I was 11-year-old boy. How do you leave 11-year-old boy? I was like, yeah. So yeah, he cops to his choices though. Like I followed my heart and I love two women. I don't expect you to understand. And this is funny to me too because he doesn't press the issue right there. He just like I did what I did. That's it. I don't expect you to understand. And then he drops it. And then I find it interesting that later We see him. We don't see the results yet at the end of episode 4, but we see that he's read that letter. They don't actually go into it. They just have her come
Mm-hmm.
into the car and him looking up from the paper at her, a realization that she, and then they go to the title,
With a
the
shocked
credit roll at
Pikachu
that point.
face.
He's like, oh, mom,
Yeah. So then
infidelity
we
runs in
flip
the
back.
family.
We finally get confirmation of what they've been hinting at the entire time. Keiko and Shaw hook up after she tried to fix his little wound he had in his gut. And then we go immediately back to the present.
I can't leave you.
Yeah,
So
that
I'm
was
gonna get
funny
in
because
them
he was
guts.
basically telling her, like, you're an intelligent disaster waiting to happen, and I care about you too much, basically to leave you to your own devices because you wouldn't survive out here because y'all are just following the science and you don't see the signs of imminent danger all around you. We got these crazy South Chileans ready to stab you. Y'all chasing monsters, and y'all can't shoot nothing. Like,
I have to make sure you're safe.
yeah,
It's my
Why?
duty.
Yeah, why does this
My
happen every
job.
time something stressful and intense happens?
Ugh.
Introduce unnecessary sex scene.
it's trauma bonding, I guess.
It's like we've been through the fire. Now
Yeah.
take your clothes off. Like, wait, come on, how did we get here? Like,
That
all right,
goes.
this
Hey,
happens every time in movies and TV.
hey, look, we done survived this almost near death experience. Now come in and get some of this because we got to enjoy life to the fullest right now. So
Right, this could be it. This could be our last. Like, okay, buddy.
This
it
may
could have
be the
been,
last time we get some butt.
yeah. I'm like, what? So yeah, so might be the last time. Yeah, that's right. We didn't know. We didn't know it could have been our last time.
It could have been the last
We
time.
had to take advantage of the time because we don't know how much is left right now. Chasing kaiju and stuff.
It's dangerous.
So then they flash forward to the present, and May is now watching in real time as Apex is keeping tabs on the crew, and I mean keeping tabs on the crew. They got facial recognition. They know what street they walking down. They
Yeah.
found their little honeycomb hideout in Shibuya, and
Shibuya.
yeah, Shibuya, and stole their stuff. The Apex rolled in and steals a prototype. Kate is still wilding out and gets disturbed in the midst of her at the bar by a kaiju alarm that she's ignoring for some reason. She, you need to go home. No, let go of me. She starts having a fit with Ogre, and Blondie realizes, like, hey, something's wrong with you. You a G-Day survivor. You know this is real. Why you not, you still want to be in the moment and party at the moment like this? She's like, I'm going home. I suggest you do too.
She said, I want to die.
Yeah,
Leave
I guess. Yeah, maybe
me.
that's survivor's guilt. She's just ready to let it happen. Maybe she wants to be having a good time while it happens. I don't know. We flash back again to 1957, and clueless Billy comes back for Keiko and Shaw, not knowing that Shaw is fresh about them draws, and he pulls the boat in, hugs her. I felt so weird watching
Man.
Billy run up and hug and kiss on her, and Shaw is just like, yeah, just looking at.
I was like, if y'all don't just tell this man right here, like deal with the uncomfortability. Just say it right then and there.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. Billy all apologetic because he says he shouldn't have left, which he shouldn't have.
He should have left, but and
Yeah, he
that's what
says it.
happens when
Right,
you
he kind
leave.
of, yeah, he did leave his. They were there. He left his wife.
Yeah,
Aren't they together?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're technically married, right?
Yeah, they're married. He
He
left. He
left his
left.
wife, which is
Yeah,
also you're not supposed to do that. That's rule one. Don't
yeah.
leave your wife, regardless. You dying with we if she we all dying. You can't
Especially what
leave.
knowing what they're doing,
That's crazy.
what they're chasing, and yeah, he
It was
leaves.
With
that
some
was
man.
wild.
You
And
left her
he's
with some man.
yep, and he scoops them up.
Also, I have to
But
say, there's an extra layer to this because he left her not just with some man, but the man who is the designated protector of this trip, but her husband who's supposed to be the protector of her left.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, his protection is outranked by Shaw's protection. Or do we just get that out? I mean, I don't know. I ain't really seen Billy. I know he was in the Navy, but we ain't really seen Billy get down.
I mean, yeah,
I
we don't know if
mean,
Billy
he
has hands,
probably
but he
don't.
still has to do so. He has to do something. That doesn't mean
Yeah,
anything. You got to pick up a stick
Yeah,
and
something.
fight something.
yeah,
Can't just leave your wife. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
yeah. So then we go back forward, and Kate is left the club, woke up on the beach after crying and having like a little nervous breakdown, walking through
Irritating.
the G-Day Memorial fence or whatever, and she's walking around. She has a little flashback, and it's like a quick "This Is Your Life," but an introduction of all the monsters she's seen. We see flashbacks of her and Godzilla and stuff falling. Then we see her looking at Kong and his accusatory roar at them because he knows they messing up stuff on Skull Island.
Go, go.
Yeah, and then they go to DC in '57, and we see Shaw. He gets the Dear John letter from Keiko, letting him know, like, look, I'll always love you, but we breaking up. And my boy starts drinking, and they're setting up the Hiroshi abandonment for later, is what I wrote down in my notes, because we find out that this is why Billy left. And this is the part where Hiro actually explains to Keiko when she's trying to have her little reminiscent moment, like, we went through your office and it reminded me so much of your father because he don't organize stuff. Couldn't stand it. He was like, I wouldn't know. I have barely any memory of it. She's like, oh, but you had to. He was like, no, Billy left me. He was gone. And then we get another little flashback to '62. And while going through some of Shaw's trunk, we see that Billy has found the breakup letter. I don't think he's read it yet, but he finds the letter. He sees the handwritten Lee on the envelope, and that's the end of episode 3, Secrets, which now we know all the secrets are between everybody, basically, all the except for we don't see no secrets between Kentaro and May, but everybody else seems to be having these back and forth secrets that have shaped their relationships. And they continue right from there in episode 4 in Trespass. We see Billy in '62 and '63. He's out still chasing these leads. We know in between that time that he basically left Hiroshi with the grandma and went on these searches all on his own. Because there's a couple time jumps in this beginning section between '62, '63, and then all the way to '73, where we see a box of his effects being boxed up, and they're at some Monarch facility. And then we see people in the middle of the night with black gloves and put the stuff in an Apex envelope. So obviously Apex then stole Randa's research and stole his stuff after he dies. And we know that he dies, I think, in '74 in Skull Island when he got kind of old and fat, and he goes off and becomes Titan Lunch out there with the big crabs and whatever. The spider and the crab were fighting out in Skull Island. So then we go back to present day. We see a Monarch boat. It's taken near American Samoa. We got these two surfer dudes out there trying to catch some waves. They have these red Godzilla flags out there. They decided, it reminded me, I don't know about this, but when I was stationed over in Okinawa, Japan, they had like typhoon season, like hurricane season over in Asia. And usually you couldn't go out during those. We'd have these barracks parties. You'd have to stay indoors. People be running around with flak jackets. There were a few crazy fools that would actually go out and be like, yo, we're going to go catch some waves. I'm like, waves? Fool, it's a typhoon. What you talking about, catch the waves? They would literally go out there, and these cats were crazy, go out there and try and surf during typhoon season because the waves would be bigger, which was preposterous to me. But it's something similar. We got, Godzilla and kaiju out there in the water, and these dudes thinking they're going to go out there because, the beach is free. It's so free because everybody with sense is inside somewhere. They're not trying to be out there. And then we see Titan X come and snatch up this boat like a tin of Kipper snacks. He just engulfs the whole thing and crushes the boat. Kate sleeps it off and wakes up. And did it seem like she had some connection to Titan X when she's floating there in the water? Like
Yes.
she could feel its presence. So I'm wondering what that's supposed to portend for later.
Have you this is where I keep getting callbacks to the King of Monsters movie where they use that where it was Apex? No, Monarch made the device, I think. Where Monarch has that device that's meant to attract the different monsters, and it sounds like they're using the same sound effect or this echolocation sound effect to kind of imply the connection between Kate and the creature.
Yeah.
which is interesting because, like we said last week, Jocelyn and I, we talked about kind of like the spiritual connection that
Hmm.
Kate has, and a lot of the women throughout the Godzilla kind of franchise have with the kaiju. So it's interesting, like why that one specifically? Like you have connect. It's like you have a connection to Godzilla. Also, it's like, is it? It feels like because you have the connection to Godzilla, is this like a foreshadowing of like is Godzilla coming back, or do you just have a connection to all of the kaiju, which is a little strange.
Yeah.
I
Like
also,
why
I'm
Titan X?
yeah, I'm also curious about when we find out later on in the episode that it's a dolphin and not
Or
a Titan.
whale. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
whale.
right.
And so I'm like, it made me question like, is this Titan? It either it's a shapeshifter, or Kate has a connection to just ocean life in general.
Yeah.
She's Aquaman. She's
I
Aquaman.
see you speak. You can speak to the fishes.
She can
Yeah,
talk to
so
animals.
so which that had me curious.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I think in the Godzilla King of Monsters film, what they were using was specific sound signatures of other Titans to attract
Mm-hmm.
the Titans. And they're trying to do a similar thing here because the device that Hiroshi makes was going to mimic the scarab or the horseshoe crab thing to try and lure Titan X away from San Francisco. I have a note here that Apex think they're tracking Titan X, but we see them get ghosts. So I wonder if they knew the jig was up. Like because they packed up kind of quick. My boy didn't even say nothing. They just packed their stuff, and then Tim has to chase them down the corridor. Like, yeah, what's happening? Oh, well, we're here for risk management, and the risk is here. We getting ghosts, so good luck. Do what you thought you was gonna do, and then he don't even say nothing. He just bounces, and then we get that letdown. There's like a climactic scene. We're thinking Titan X is about to emerge, and then like it's a whale. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. It was interesting to see Kate meet one of the kids that she saved, and she thought
Yeah.
she had lost it. She let off because the
Mm-hmm.
mom was like, "You saved my Mikey." She thought she had lost him and was ready to apologize. And then Sean Crew is planning this dang heist to try and steal the the whatever the device that Hiroshi had built at his little secret hideout lab. They were going to steal it back apparently from Apex. And I thought it was funny here. Django Fett from Apex, I think his name is Jason in the show. Uh, he preaches coexistence with the kaiju. Like, yeah, we're gonna coexist with these things. We're just gonna learn. You can't kill them. What you gonna do? So we gonna learn how to live with them. And Tim is just
Discovery and
looking at him
defense.
crazy.
You talking about discovery and defense?
Yeah, this is our defense. Our defense will be coexistence. Like that's not how this works, bro. Kate wants to go back and realistically and understandably, her mom was looking at her like she's crazy. Like I just lost you. You just came back. You went out for your personal wilding out tour with your little friends, doing whatever y'all was doing at the club till the alarm hit, and now you telling me you want to go right back to where we would have lost you. She still doesn't explain why she's responsible. She just keeps telling people that and then just dropping it. Like, I'm responsible for it. Like, what do you mean you're responsible? But she don't tell her. Like, I hit the button that opened up this rift that brought this thing in here. May plays her role and it gets intense, but I felt this was a false intensity. Like I had a feeling when I before like I rewatched it today. I don't know how you guys felt when during watching, but I knew they weren't going to get caught. And we
Oh
find
yeah.
like I had no worry that they were going to get caught. We do find out later that Brenda the whole time knew. So yeah, she knew. Y'all think she tells her you think you're doing the right thing by getting the device. I know why you're here, but I want to show you something else. That was kind of cool. Uh, the fake radiation, come on now, the fake radiation crew. They set the alarms. They're just gonna walk into these little, and there's only 3 people in hazmat suits that show up for a radiation leak. And then we find out that Apex is dabbling with creatures from Skull Island. My note here is, what can go wrong? we, let's
I thought
release
it,
some of this wild fauna from Skull Island onto mainland United States. What could possibly go wrong?
it's given Jurassic Park.
It is for real. And
Hmm.
yeah, Apex jump ship with the Titan X, Titanfall. I said Titanfall imminent, even though we learned that It's not. It's a whale. Uh, Brenda rolls in while May stalls with Hero and Keiko stuck downstairs in the basement, and she's offering her tea and whatnot in the office and having their little discussion. And then Brenda opens up to May and shows her that she can control this small creature. But I'm like, that ain't the same as controlling the kaiju, my girl. Like
No.
those
That's
things,
different.
yeah. Sean Kentaro make a divergence. I don't know how I kind of laughed, but it was kind of cruel to me. They were kicking these things in the ass. They opened the door, and
Yeah,
seeing,
and I'm like, okay.
and seeing how terrorized everybody else was, I'm wondering why aren't they like terrorized too? They just allowed them to get kicked in the butt, but then they got out and started bearing up on everybody.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
Well,
look at it. They
they
used to deal with those creatures, so they look at them just like other animals.
but also
Um,
they'd explained that like they were just territorial, not
but not
necessarily like
predators.
yeah, they're
yeah,
not predators. So
I don't know. They was mashing a couple people up when they was running by, and people started freaking out.
they're just big
They
Yeah,
were
and
just big and
scared.
knocking into them and yelling. They didn't actually hurt nobody. I didn't see nobody get chomped.
yeah.
Chomp, chomp.
No, you're right. They find the device dismantled. Apex duped them because they already have all of Bill Randa's research. They find in the basement, and we see the exact moment they flash back again that Billy leaves. Because little Hiroshi's like, I can come with you. I can help. He's like, I bet you can, buddy. But your mama didn't do me right, so you got to stay here with your grandma. Oh my God, I got a top secret clearance, and you ain't got clearance to go with me. Maybe next year. And you can see in the little boy's face, like, you lying. You ain't coming back next year. And
It was such a
yeah, just
pitiful
the end of
lie
the episode
too.
there, you see Hiroshi has the letter. May surprised me and splits off from the team and decides she's gonna roll with uh, Brenda from Apex. And Kate at the end, she rolls up and rejoins them. Like, how did she know they were there? Did she have like Hiroshi's Find My Phone app on so he could know his exact location or something? And it ends with Hiroshi reading the letter finally. You see that he's actually got the letter open. You see Keiko come out to the van and he looks up at her all crazy, like, Mama, you dirty. I know why Billy left now. He didn't say anything, but that's kind of how they leave the episode with that cliffhanger of him finally, like I said, getting confirmation of what I think as the audience already knew that probably happened in the interim. It was just
Mhm.
too much chemistry between those two, even with Billy there.
Yeah.
Through the first two seasons, little conversations when he took her to the like that ball where everybody was dressed in their dressed military uniforms,
Oh
and
yeah.
she started asking about kids and the picket fence and all that, and then she revisits that conversation. I think it's in the second episode of this season. She's like, "What happened? Wasn't that the plan?" And they still keep rehashing this. What you gonna do? When you gonna settle down? When you gonna find you a little something? And he tries to stave it off for so long, but it just don't work. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what Hiroshi says to Keiko and what her rebuttal is gonna be. Like, you knew it all along. It was in my DNA to be like this. I'm a Rolling Stone because my mama was a Rolling Stone. Which
Excuses, objection. It's just excuses,
yeah,
bro. Be better, do better. Like, I hope now that you have this information, you're like, oh, maybe what I did was wrong.
yeah,
But you made those decisions. You made the decision to stay like we talked about what last week or the previous week. It was like, bro, you made the choices. You felt yes, you felt you couldn't help falling in love with two people, but you made a choice to start a whole new family. And
yeah,
on borderline, I mean, and parts abandon both of these families at various points.
mhm,
So you made that choice, bro. Your mother didn't do it like that. I mean, it was different, but I mean, there's some abandonment still there. The abandonment that's the thread, the abandonment.
yeah. At least she it was involuntary. She was stuck in another dimension. My boy just followed his heart, and then after he followed his heart, he followed the science away from both of the families.
Mm-hmm.
Chasing, he was on his wild Pokemon chase around the world and didn't tell them nothing.
He just doing whatever he want to do.
Yeah, to the point
Mm-hmm.
where they thought he was dead. Like they had a funeral for him, and then
That's the crazy part. We thought you was dead. I wasn't, y'all.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry.
crazy. He deserves all the smoke forever.
Eternal smoke.
Yes.
It's eternal smoke.
What do y'all think the odds are? Because Kentaro didn't cheat, did he? He was just flaky, right? He was just kind of
He
wishy
don't
washy
got
and
nobody.
non-committal to me. That was the reason why they didn't work.
No,
I
he
I
got
didn't
don't
the,
cheat
think
on
so.
nobody.
No.
yeah, I get the
He
feeling he
seems
just
like
kind
he's
of ghosted
cool.
her and wasn't consistent with keeping up contact. He would just like disappear for long periods of time,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just not committal
and he
in
was flaky
general.
with his art as well.
Oh, let's make that. Let's not make that conjecture. A
No, he
conjecture.
won't. Remember, he had the
I
whole. He
mean,
missed this whole exhibit. Like he
oh,
does.
That's true.
but he was giving. He was. I don't know. I remember when they introduced that. I was like, why do you give me a vibe? Like when we first met Kentaro, when he was flaking on his art exhibit, it felt like a snobby kid or like a pretentious kid was like, I don't really care about this. This
Yeah,
doesn't represent me or whatever. It felt like he was once again like his mother and like his father and his grandmother running away from something.
yeah,
So even sure was he was even flaky with the art. He was flaky with he's flaky with everything. All right, bro,
yeah. My
commit to
point though
something.
was that he hasn't shown a direct proclivity to be unfaithful necessarily.
Yeah,
I
no, he
think
hasn't.
I think everybody in his family just do whatever they want to do when they want to do it.
That's pretty
Yeah,
much right. Yeah, pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I do what
Long
I damn
story
well
short,
please. Gene is strong occasionally.
It's not really a long, it's not a long story. You got
they just do whatever. They be
yeah,
like,
they out here.
I, yeah. They
I'm
like,
gonna
I
leave
don't
my
want to do this
family.
no more, and then they stop.
I'm tired of this.
And then they come back.
Yeah.
I can't stop
Yeah.
doing this.
Right.
I don't want to do this today and tomorrow. I can't stop doing this. I'm
I don't
back.
have to explain myself to you. Oh my god. Like, you're crazy. You're insane. What are you talking about?
They are insane. I was laughing at one point where Hiroshi was like, we gotta go across the country to go get
Get
cake.
cake.
And I'm like, you sound like your daughter. You're not making any sense, sir. You're being too emotional about it. We gotta save her. And that
Oh,
was
that's right. And that's when like they did
Shaw,
that walk he did that walkabout.
yeah, Shaw checks him on it. But the funny thing is, like, he wasn't feeling that way on G Day. He didn't check on her.
oh, Gina.
My boy was what was he at like an emergency tent? She just saw him on a flute and she saw him like daddy. He was like, who called me? Anyway,
That was so
Who's that?
insane.
Who's that? That's my daughter. I got work to do.
yeah,
I
just
got lives to save. I don't care about my daughter today. I got lives to save. We got just G Day.
yeah,
Godzilla's pulling up.
he
We
didn't
gotta
chase
stop.
after either one of them kids with all the stuff that was going on. He was out in Antarctica flying planes and whatnot, chasing the crazy the freeze dragon thing. Out he was out there, you know,
Yeah,
He did that
adventuring.
walkabout.
the
Yeah,
freeze train.
Pokemon adventures. He was trying to catch them all, and he was
Yep.
following the monsters with his new toys and wasn't worried about now kid. I done created two families and I didn't abandon both of them, but now I'm gonna get some guilt about myself and fly across the world to try and get to Kate because Titan X is popping up, so he feels
Insane.
remorseful. I thought it was interesting and funny how you see Keiko trying to give him little pep talks to
Yeah.
Hiroshi. He's just trying to make his daddy proud. And he's like, I am. And then she's like, does he know that though? Have you told him that?
I'm just like all of y'all ain't shit. All of y'all ain't nothing.
Yeah, really, really. It's like, yo, come on, buddy.
I don't even know why. To be honest, why do Keiko and Shaw got to keep up the pretenses now? Because Billy Boy been gone
Okay?
for
Like
decades
y'all
at
could
this
be
point.
together.
Yeah.
If y'all was gonna do
I don't think
something,
Keiko
y'all
wants
could do
old
something.
Shaw though. Plot twist.
Hey, look, you get what you get, and you don't have a fit. That's what you.
Okay. They cause they, remember that in that letter she was out here talking about something in another
In
lifetime.
another life. Well, it's another life
It's
now.
literally another life right
In
now.
another life, do you want old Shaw?
Just because you got preserved in Axis Mundi and I didn't, I mean, that ain't my fault.
Okay.
Go on and get some of this money.
Oh,
He said you can get some of this old stuff.
that scene with him, old Shaw pulling up at the bar.
Oh yeah, with the
I
T-shirt.
was literally y'all talking about that took me back to that moment where he was like talking to me, "Hey girl," and I was
Yeah,
like, "All right,
Yeah.
man, you gonna fake flirt
What
with
he
her?
say?
Hey
What
girl."
he say? He said if I was half a century younger or something,
Yeah.
you said
yeah,
I will
right.
buy
Like
you.
five
I was
decades
like,
younger.
oh. He said
That's
I will
crazy.
buy you. I
I
was
was
like,
like,
wait a
"Whoa,
minute,
whoa!"
Yeah,
slow
he
it
was like,
That
down.
"Hey, girl,
that joke doesn't age well.
if I was five decades younger, I'd be ready to check your temperature." I'm like, "Wait, what?
He was saying crazy
You
stuff. I was
gotta
like,
go."
"Bro, this is getting out of hand."
Yeah,
Somebody wrap him up.
And I
yeah,
feel, but you know what's funny? I feel like Shaw didn't, he didn't really talk that much. His strength is action. You
yeah,
know,
Mhm.
when it comes to flirting, we see th- there's not.
yeah, yeah. He ain't got no game, but he's
No,
all action, no words.
yeah,
I felt like, and now knowing that, basically, I feel like Apex was in on this the whole time. They knew that they were coming for the heist. I'm thinking, dude with the glasses was a plant. They just happened to know what bar he was going to, and he left his backpack and played along with this whole Shaw having a heart attack. Like they had to know who he is.
I think so too. Like he looked confused, but not that confused. Like
Mhm.
he to me, it kind of seemed like he knew kind of what was going on, and was feigning ignorance.
And
That
he
could
left
be,
his bag. He left the bag
yeah.
probably in the lab when the alarm went off at Apex. He left
Oh
it.
yeah.
And then you can see the little red light and the beep of the USB drive or whatever that they left in there to kind of hack the system. He got up and left his bag right there. Most people with either a tablet or a computer, at least a laptop, something portable. That's portable for a reason. You wouldn't leave it, especially if there's a radiation leak and something happens and you leaving your equipment in there to just be destroyed. Like, no, it looked like
Yeah.
that was a plant. Like that was all Brendan and them knew. Basically, they played Cora, May, whatever she is. They played her into what she wanted her to do, and she did it, and then flipped. Surprisingly, but do you
You
think it was?
surprised by the flip?
I was because I felt like she was going to be kind of offended when because she's telling she's like, "You going to turn
Mhm.
these things into your pets? Like you think like you're dumb enough to believe you can control Godzilla?" And you see the little gold thing they spiked into the neck of that little
Mhm.
creature, but how big is that going to have to be to get into Godzilla or Titan X or Kong? I mean, you think you're going to be able to just remote control all these giant
Mhm.
Titans is crazy to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, for me, I kind of figured she was on flip because I had this kind of feeling that like the that May's going to be used to help develop that technology that eventually creates Mechagodzilla
Yeah,
with Apex. Like it will be a perfect way to fit her into that kind of like history because we watching what was it King Kong versus Godzilla. We learned that Apex created. They used King Ghidorah's brain to then they use that brain to then create Mechagodzilla. So I'm just like, y'all gonna get her into this. This could make a lot of sense. So I saw the clip. I wanted that to happen personally. So I was like, I kind of want her to kind of work for them because I want these things to kind of connect back to the movie. So I was
isn't
like,
this
okay.
post all that though?
Hmm?
Isn't this series post?
So that's I thought that the because like remember I looked at Godzilla's hand, so his hand's not messed up yet, right?
Okay,
So we know it's not in the most recent movie. Um,
you mean
but
Kong?
yeah, Kong's hand is still good, like he's still normal looking. So we know that it's not during the last movie that just came out.
Okay,
But I thought that like I had to check. I want to check the timeline because I was like, if it takes place in 2017 or 2016.
I think it's 17 because after
17.
because G Day was during 2015.
Right. So this movie keeps focusing on, and that's another thing. That's why I feel like it's before the movie, like the King of Monsters movie, or maybe a little bit after,
Okay,
because like they keep referencing G Day. That's such a critical moment in that film.
so you think this is
Um,
pre Mecha Godzilla
yes,
Apex?
because like they would have to talk about like this show centers G-Day, but like if the stuff that happened in King of Monsters, the second movie was running concurrently, that would also make major headway, like in the news. Like we'd probably be seeing parts of that told in this story. So I I just have this vibe. It's either before that or after, because Monarch is doing real stupid stuff. By the way, Monarch is still giving, like, we're still figuring stuff out.
They are.
So it's like it's like y'all haven't bossed up to get to the point where y'all even have the technology to like control them. Hence why they're talking about making technology to guide Titan X way. So when even did Shaw recommend that they try to guide it away? Was that Tim? One of them recommends, instead of like they should guide it away, guide
It
Titan
was
X
Hiroshi.
away. It was Hiroshi. There we go. So
Yeah.
even thinking about the fact that Hiroshi's talking about we need to guide it away, if this was during the second movie, the second Godzilla movie, they would have obviously used that technology to just literally create that. They create that device that actually lures them. So they're not using that, which means I don't think it exists yet. So it has to be before that movie. So that
I
was
don't
my
know.
thought process.
I don't know about that because the what they had now was actually specific to Titan X. It wasn't for, like, remember in King of Monsters, that was like they had a bunch of catalog of all the other monsters.
Right.
But this one is just specifically the noise that the scarab made when
Right.
it
That's what
called
I'm
out into
saying.
the ocean. So I think
Yeah.
it still could be because they have the names of all the other one. That's why this one is Titan X, because they don't have a name for it.
Gotcha. Oh, let me take a look.
But yeah. And yeah, you're right. So it might be after those movies, but before New Kingdom, when we see the like you said, the Iron Fist on Kong.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously they know of Kong's existence from Skull Island.
Right. So yeah, I'm looking at stuff now, trying to like put the timeline together. So it's like OG stuff. Because I wish these films did a better job of putting things in a timeline.
You researching too, Jocelyn?
We're all researching.
Oh, she was looking intently at the screen.
I'm like, I want, because this has been gnawing at me since we started watching it. Because like y'all want to put dates on things now, so it's like very important that like we kind of figure out where things are located in time.
Yeah, and they seem to kind of go between basically 57 and probably 2017, 2018.
Yeah, yeah. So we got that part's clear, but I'm like, I need to know if this is technically. Let's see. Confluence King Kong. Yeah, this is giving me when the movies were released, but not an accurate, like, definitive point of like, does it take place?
Actually occur.
Yeah, I need to know. Like, yeah, I know when these movies came out, dog. I just need to know when they occur, because that would be important. Because I'm like, I don't know. It would just make, like, if Monarch's not using his technology, unless it would make sense if it was post the second movie, because didn't they destroy that thing?
Which
the
thing?
device that they used to like track to lure the monsters.
I think so.
Yeah, so like that could make sense if it's destroyed. Then we just got to use the scarab to find it, right?
Yeah.
Which works in that film. So I am curious.
I think something happened to it. It was in one of the Humvees at the end of the movie. That thing got crushed where 11 was in there, and they had the little device in the Humvee. I think it might have got destroyed then. But yeah, crazy, man. So I guess we'll got to wait to see if Kentaro don't fall too far from the tree as well. We'll see what pops up. We'll get to see in the next couple episodes the inevitable conflict between Hiroshi and Keiko, because now that you've been called me on my double life, now I got to call you out because I found your little Dear John letter to your side piece, Shaw, over there. So how you going to explain that and then come at me? That should be interesting. We still got it. Now we don't know where Titan X is, but I guess according to the migration map, it's scheduled to go back to the small fishing village. Like that's where it's next going to appear. And either Apex already knows that because they had everything mapped out already, And that may be where they were going to next. Instead, it looks like they were. To me, it looked like they were getting out of Dodge and leaving Monarch to hold the bag, basically, if this went the wrong direction. Um, but yeah, it could be that they knew it was a false flag and they were just going to go to head up and meet. But I don't know what they got out there. I haven't seen enough of their technology in action aside from the outpost on Skull Island that they were operating, and them coming in to basically take over the Monarch ship.
Mhm.
And he's, are you upgrading our systems? Like, yeah, if you call it an upgrade if you mean dropping a Lamborghini engine into a Pinto. I was like,
Oh my god, that was
my
so
boy was
funny.
talking so much gang.
That was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, so I do have a confirmation.
Okay.
All right, so I think this thread I found is kind of looping in like comic books and like animated films. So I'm going to just read it chronologically. I haven't seen everything. So Godzilla Awakening, Monarch Legacy of Monarch Monsters, which is the flashbacks in the 50s. Kong Skull Island. I guess there was Skull Island. It said Skull Island Netflix. I wonder if that was animated.
There was an animated one.
Skull Island, The Birth of Kong, Godzilla 2014 is six in line. Godzilla Aftershock, which is a graphic novel, which is seven in line. Then Monarch Legacy of Monsters in their current timeline.
Okay.
And then Godzilla King of the Monsters. So I was actually correct.
Okay.
And then after that, Kingdom Kong, which I don't know what that is, Godzilla Dominion, and then Godzilla versus Kong, and then Godzilla X Kong the Hunted. So that's the kind of order of things. And I was like, yeah, that lines up.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, Monarch been goofy.
Yeah. And I hope we get the conflict between Godzilla and Titan X in this series. Like, I think we discussed this the last episode we were talking, and not basically have this be a huge tie-in to springboard us into the film to get this team up with Godzilla King Kong versus Titan X. I've seen a bunch of rumors about that too, that they're, instead of just having the mechanical arm, he's going to have a full-on mech suit because of how big Titan X is. So together, he and Godzilla will take on Titan X.
That's not happening.
Kong
Y'all
is going to
really,
be in a
yeah.
mechanical suit.
Yeah,
Yes,
none of that's
that's the
making
rumor.
sense.
That's the rumor.
That's the funniest rumor, knowing that everybody, all these other corporations, all the other agencies aren't even that well advanced.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Why can't they just let Kong jump high? It just
All you got to do is jump high. All you need to do is drag Omi out the water and just like, don't, just start throwing this stuff. Let's just get to work. Kong, get to work on him. You got this. You don't need no
saw how Godzilla
technology.
was handling Kong. I think Titan X might have something for Kong too if he don't get a little something extra.
Lord have mercy.
We had to shot Kong when he was fighting Godzilla. They had to get him a defibrillator to bring him back to life.
And
watch that.
all I know, I just want, what if this ends in a showdown with the three monsters?
Yeah.
My hope is that whatever goes on, that Kong is just not nerfed. That they don't completely
Yeah,
nerf
he
him.
can't. Like, yeah, I agree. Don't do that to him.
Yeah. I
Also,
can
the rumor is
appreciate
he's not
Godzilla
fully
is
matured too. Is
Godzilla.
the thing.
Huh?
Kong may not be fully evolved yet. He's still growing.
Oh.
So that may be why he got pimp smacked by Godzilla and before. So he's not at his full. He's still a little smaller.
Wait, but if you're saying that, when is he ever going to be at his peak? Because he was getting smacked up. He was getting smacked up years later. Now that doesn't give me any confidence at all.
That's maybe why he needs the mech suit.
I mean, I would rather him be like. I'd rather this movie be like. This show could capture Kong at like a good age where he's young, but at his prime. And then when we see him in the movies, he's a little washed. He was like, I ain't be fighting like that. And then Godzilla's putting his foot on his chest. Foolishness like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. Well, man, I guess we'll see. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to chop it up with us about these things. And I see we got one lurker that hasn't given us any chats, but they are watching. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to us chop it up about these things. Like I said, when this episode gets uploaded to Spotify, there will be links in the description if you click on our names to all of our individual websites if you are at all curious about our creative endeavors. And we will chat at y'all a couple weeks from now.
Peace.
Peace
See
out.
y'all.